Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to SoulSpace Podcast number 126.
Welcome.
Yay. Welcome to winter and the holiday season.
Yeah, it's December,
Fun.
guys.
Yeah, yeah,
All the holidays have come and are around the corner.
yeah, yeah. I love this time of year.
Mhm.
I do not, however, like the weather this time of year.
Yeah, I think for us, the most stressful part is the weather.
Is the weather. Yeah.
And other people have stress around the holidays. That's
Yeah.
a super common thing. A lot of people talk about is how stressed they get because there's so much to do and there's
Right.
people to see and there's places to go. And a lot of us here in the United States are buying each other gifts and all sorts of things and getting ready for the holidays. There's so many holidays around this time in
Yeah.
the US.
Right.
And so
Mhm.
it's a time to think about.
Peace.
Yeah. How we can be peaceful, how we can be calm during all of the chaos that kind of happens during this time of year,
Yeah.
no matter where we are or what we're doing. So we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, so our theme for the month of December, we picked peace for the season.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, a lot of people struggle with mental wellness this time of year too, whether they're lonely or far away from their relatives or, whatever that stress may be, financial things. It's a hard season for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to talk about that. And today's theme or today's topic is going to be releasing the stress through pivoting. So we're going to talk about our favorite thing, pivoting.
Pivoting. We may have talked about that now and again.
Yeah, a few times. But it's always good. And, you have to remember about it.
It's a very useful tool. And,
Yeah.
one of the best ways to help yourself through stressful times is to pivot.
Mm-hmm.
Is to
Absolutely.
begin to climb up the emotional scale, begin to feel better, so that you can begin to attract better and better experiences into your life as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what a lot of people want. They want calm, they want peace, they want to feel good, they want to have energy. So it's about thinking about, okay, what do I want? And then beginning the process of moving toward that from where you're at. That's what pivoting
Right.
really is.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to stay in the muck. That's hard when you stay and keep mulling over the same things over and over. If you can pivot out of that easy and just by a little bit, it helps you get up that scale a lot easier.
Right, because the deeper hole you dig, the harder it is to dig back out.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can catch yourself early and begin the pivoting process early, so you can get one step further up the emotional scale, then another step up the emotional scale,
Right.
and just work your way up, then you're not going to have that really deep. Some people dive really deep before they bring themselves back up. And why do that? Why
Yeah.
have more suffering than is necessary?
Yeah.
That seems silly to us. I mean, sometimes we do that. We've all been
Everybody
there,
does.
right?
Yeah.
So that's why we're bringing this forward, is to say you don't have to do that.
Right.
You don't have to go that low before
No.
you bring yourself back up the scale.
Yeah.
And it's preferred that you don't, because you're attracting all sorts of things in your experience that you don't want.
Yeah.
And it just keeps like snowball effect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we can snowball effect into a positive direction instead of a negative direction, obviously we all know what we would prefer in our lives. Yeah.
Yeah.
Raise it up, Tracy over here. That's gonna be our YouTube still, is us raising the
raise it up. That's good.
We're kind of, we're aging ourselves a little bit, but that's okay. Enjoying life where we're at.
Yeah. You gotta. You gotta. So yeah, we're gonna talk about Esther and Jerry Hicks' book, of course, our favorite one, I think. And they're our most used one, probably.
It's definitely, one of my favorites, if not my favorite.
Yeah.
It might be my favorite.
Yeah.
I love asking and just giving.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about, because when we're thinking about stress on the emotional scale, stress is less than satisfied, right? So satisfied, and then we get to bored, and it goes down, down, down. Stress is somewhere, but like midpoint between satisfied and depression. And so when it comes to stress, we want to make sure that we're beginning to pivot back up, because you can really go far down or back up from that point very easily. And so I think it's time to talk about how we can do that.
Yeah, yeah. And even just to go to satisfied, you know, is
just
way
to feel
better
okay.
than the stress. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Be okay with where you're at and eager for more, like we always talk about.
Right.
You know, always getting one step better if we can.
Yeah.
And we usually can. We always can if we have the tools and use them.
We have tools.
If we use
and
the
we're going to
tools.
use them.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And every time you pivot, you also begin to raise your set point of where you're at and where you catch yourself. It gets higher and higher.
Yeah.
Because you find that it's harder and harder to tolerate bad feelings. Well, there's no such thing as bad feelings, but negative feelings, feelings that don't feel good to you.
Yeah.
Would be more accurate.
Yep. It's hard to tolerate those lower vibrations when we're used to being happy and feeling good.
Right. And this will help us to stay in that more of the time, which is really what we want, because like we said before, your emotions tell you where you're at vibrationally. Yeah. And so vibrationally, we want to be in the receiving mode, which is the satisfied feelings, and above that, all the way to ecstatic joy. And so we need to think about that. You know, am I moving towards what I want, or am I moving away from it? Yeah. Yeah. And that's really what our emotions tell us. Where am I at vibrationally? Can the things that I want meet me where I'm at or not? And how do I get there? Right? Well, pivoting is one of the ways that you get there.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's dive in.
Let's dive in.
Process number 16.
So again, one of our favorite books, Action is Given, Esther and Jerry Hicks. Wonderful book. We are on page 249 if you have this book, which if you've been listening to us for a while, I hope you have gotten it. It's so wonderful. Like I said, process number 16. Yeah. Pivoting.
So good.
So when to use this process? When you are aware that the statement you just made is the opposite of what you want to attract into your experience. When you want to establish an improved point of attraction, which is always, right? When you are feeling fairly good, but know that you could feel even better, and you're willing to take the time to make that happen now. So that's when you would use this process. So pretty much whenever.
Right. And that last one, you know, if you've been doing these processes for a while and you've been following along with what we teach, you will want to pivot out of it right away when you feel that, you know, when you feel yourself kind of getting into that lower vibration, you're going to want to do it right away, because you'll know that it's a lot easier to get out than it is when you're deep down in the muck.
Right. And even if you're feeling pretty decent, it can always get better. Right. And it can always get better than that. Yeah. And there's no real limit to how good you can feel, except for what you believe is your limit to how you can feel. Yeah. Yeah. So the current emotional set point range, this pivoting process will be of most value to you when your emotional set point is ranging somewhere between boredom and anger. And we all know that stress is definitely in that area. Yep. It is possible to be focused in vibrational opposition to what you really desire without knowing you are. It is like the opposite ends of a stick. When you pick up a stick, you pick up both ends. This pivoting process will help you be more aware of which end of your stick you are currently activating. The end that is about what you want, or the end that is about the absence of what you want. The contrast of your time-space reality is extremely useful, for contrast helps you to focus your thoughts. Whenever you know what you do not want, you also know even more clearly what you do want. And whenever you know what you do want, you also know even more clearly what you do not want. And so, your exposure to contrast sharpens your focus and gives birth to new preferences and desires. In fact, this valuable contrast assures the eternal expansion of all that is. The process of pivoting is often the first step in beginning to shift your habit of vibration, because this is a process that helps you more clearly define exactly what you desire. But because there is usually a wide variance in the vibration on one end of the stick and the vibration on the other end of the stick, You usually do not immediately shift your vibration just by making a statement of desire. For example, when you are sick, you know very clearly that you want to be well. Or when you do not have enough money, you know very clearly that you want more money. Now, by turning your attention to what you do want, and by holding your attention upon what you do want, you will begin to vibrate there. At first, your awareness of what you do not want helps you identify what you do want. In other words, as you speak the words of your desire, your vibration may not match your words. But if you will continue the process of pivoting, that is, if whenever you feel negative emotion, which helps you to know that you are focused upon something unwanted, you will stop and say, I know what I don't want. So what is it that I do want? Then in time, you will change your vibration on the subject. Little by little, you will redirect your vibration, and eventually the improved vibration will become your dominant thought. See the process of pivoting as a gradual shifting of your point of attraction, and enjoy the positive results that must follow. It is not possible for you to consistently give your attention to what you do want and not receive it, for the law of attraction guarantees that whatever you are predominantly focused upon will flow into your experience.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Because a lot of people, when they know what they don't want very clearly, they tend to focus upon the fact of the lack of what they want in their lives.
Yeah.
And even if they're trying to shift that and having moderate success, pivoting really helps you to become more vibrationally even keel, so that you can begin to receive on a deeper level and a more easy level the things that you've been asking for.
Right.
Rather than struggling with the up and down and up and down and up and down of vibration.
Yeah. Yeah. If we can just keep that end goal in mind, whatever that is, I mean, it doesn't have to be a huge goal, but just whatever for the day that you want. It can be at any time, actually, but just keeping that goal of how you want to feel in mind always, then you can pull yourself out a lot easier and just pivot into that so much easier than focusing on, say for instance, shopping for Christmas presents. Oh, I only have so much money I can spend. What if it's more than I think? You can go down that way, or you can think, oh, I have all this money right now. It's going to be plenty to buy all my presents that I need to buy. Or, I can make some things to make it a lot more economical to do it.
Right, like thinking of solutions and focusing on the solution, definitely always helps. That's part of the pivoting process.
Right.
It's getting focused on the solution rather than the problem, getting out of the problem so that solutions can come to you.
Solution. Yeah. And the holidays aren't about things. Most people just want to be together, just want to be with the people you love and have fun with. So don't stress out about that, and make it just fun. Sometimes people do only homemade gifts, and that can be really fun. I mean, some people don't like to do artsy stuff or anything, but they could bake, or they could do something.
Right. I mean, who wouldn't love a box of cookies for the holidays?
Yeah.
I know I would.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, everybody have a cookie now. We're having that while we open more gifts.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So there's so many solutions for every problem. If you think that way, it's a lot easier.
Yes. And there are an unlimited amount of solutions to any given problem.
Yeah.
And seeing any little bump in the road as an opportunity for a new solution.
Yeah.
Is a new way to kind of shift your perspective, beginning to shift your perspective, knowing, okay, if there's a problem that's presented itself, a solution has also presented itself at this exact moment.
Yeah.
So do I want to continue in the vibration of the problem, or do I want the solution? Right. Which one do I want more? Well, most of us want the solution.
Yeah.
And so you need to be vibrating the solution for the solutions to begin to come to you.
Right.
And so that's what pivoting is pivoting from the problem to the solution.
Yeah.
From the negative feeling emotions to the positive feeling emotions, to the negative or lower vibration to a higher vibration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Easy peasy. All right.
Easy. Do you want to read more about the pivoting process from Abraham?
Yeah. So Abraham speaks to us more about the pivoting process. The most important thing to remember is that you are the attractor of your experience, and that you are attracting it by virtue of the thoughts that you are offering. Thoughts are magnetic, and as you think a thought, it will attract another and another and another until eventually you will have physical manifestation of the vibrational essence of whatever has been the subject of your thoughts, good or bad. If you have ever experienced, and you know you have, that which you would consider to be negative emotion, you may describe it as fear, doubt, frustration, or loneliness. There are many ways that you describe negative emotion. What you are experiencing in that negative emotion is the thinking of a thought that does not vibrate at a frequency that is in harmony with where or who your own inner being is. You see, through all your life experiences, physical and non-physical, your inner being, or the total you, has come to a place of knowing and to a place of wanting. And so when you are in this physical body, consciously focused upon a thought that does not harmonize with which your inner being has come to know, then the resultant feeling within you is one of negative emotion. If you were to sit on your foot and cut off the circulation of the flow of blood, or if you were to put on a tourniquet around your neck and restrict the flow of oxygen, you would see immediately evidence of this restriction. And that just reminded me, I was sitting on the floor today, getting my Christmas decorations ready, sitting on my feet, and they fell asleep. That wasn't a good, I wasn't in a good place, So wiggling my feet and getting that circulation going, it's as easy as that, in any circumstance, it's as easy as that to pivot.
Right. I think it's a really good analogy. It helps remind us that pinching off the flow versus allowing it to flow.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, and in like manner, when you think thoughts that are not in harmony with your greater knowing, the flow of life force, the energy that comes from your inner being into your physical apparatus, is stifled and restricted. And the result is that you experience negative emotion. And if you would allow it to continue over a longer period of time, you would receive negative deterioration. Never mind.
Deterioration.
Yep,
Got
it was good. Of your physical apparatus. It kind of didn't roll off my tongue good. That is why we say that all illness is a result of allowance of negative emotion. And that's so true too. If you're negative all the time and constantly swimming in that soup of negativity, you're more likely to catch every cold or every flu or whatever comes your way. Yeah. As you are understanding that a feeling of negative energy is an indicator that you are not in harmony with your greater knowing, many of you have reached the point of saying, I want to feel good more of the time. And we say that is a magnificent acknowledgement, because when you are saying, I want to feel good, what you are really saying is, I want to be in the place of positive attraction, or I want to be in a place where the thoughts that I'm thinking as I'm feeling good are in harmony with my greater awareness. So good. And your body always knows when you're in a good place. Your body will tell you, hey, this is feeling good right now. We want to stay here, or we want to even get better. But if it's in a bad place, your body doesn't feel good.
Right.
And it's telling you, hey, we need to pivot out of this. We need to get up that scale.
We're getting somewhere that we don't want to be.
Right.
Alert.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's good.
Oh my gosh, I am a sci-fi nerd, you guys. If you didn't notice at this time in our lives, yes. Pivot from what is unwanted to what is wanted. That's exactly what we want to do.
Right.
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's.
Many of you would not have such difficult time feeling good if you were in an environment where there is not so much negative influence around you. That is certainly true on the day that you emerged into this physical body. But since you live in a dimension where there is much influence of thought that is abounding, it is of value for you to have some processes to assist you in getting from that place where you do not want to be to the place where you do want to be. And the process of pivoting is just such a process. When you are feeling negative emotion, you are in a very good position to identify what you want. Because never are you more clear about what you do want than when you are experiencing what you do not want. And so, if you will stop in that moment and say, something is important here. Otherwise, I would not be feeling this negative emotion. I need to focus on what I want. And then turn your attention to what it is that you want. In the moment of the turning of your attention, the negative emotion and the negative attraction will stop. And in the moment the negative attraction stops, the positive attraction will begin. And your feelings will change from not feeling good to feeling good. That is the process of pivoting. And I think it's really important when they say that as soon as you turn your attention from what you don't want to what you do want, immediately that shifts the energy of attraction.
Yeah.
Immediately that shifts from you're attracting what you don't want to you're attracting what you do want. And while that momentum may not be obvious to you in that exact moment, that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Just think about this. Where there's fear, that's the only thing that exists. Love cannot exist at the same time as fear. But love, if you have love, fear can't exist at the same time either.
Right.
And so that shows you that you're either in a negative point of attraction or a positive point of attraction. There's no real in between. There's waffling back and forth, which feels in between.
Yeah.
But you're either in one at one point or another. And so if you can get yourself into one versus the other, you're immediately already changed everything. You're already on the positive end, I have it, of the stick.
Yeah.
When to pivot in that moment. And then you need to carry that momentum forward. And that's usually the hardest part for people, is to carry that momentum forward in the absence of what they want in their current reality. And so we understand that that can be difficult, but if you can build that momentum, staying in that positive point of attraction for any period of time, that shifts everything for you into that positive direction. Things begin to work out much better than they were. So that's the difficulty, is you're noticing what is your current reality versus what it is that you want. And that's the tricky part of the law of attraction, is paying too much attention to what is rather than what it is that you want.
Yeah. When we get stuck in that, here we are, that's the hard part. If we can just stop and notice, okay, how am I feeling right now in this place right now? Then you can say, okay, I think I can feel a little bit better. It's not as bad as I'm making it out to be. And you can climb up that scale pretty easily.
Right.
And, you might not make it to the top every time, but you'll get up into that better feeling for sure.
Exactly. Don't let what's happening right now deter you from going to where you want to be.
Yeah.
That's the real trick.
Yeah.
To consciously creating the life that you want. And it is something that definitely takes practice to do, because you're going to be noticing all the time your current reality, right?
Yeah.
And so not allowing that to shift you out of where it is that you're trying to go.
Yeah.
That's really the key. And every time it does shift you out, the pivoting process.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing this, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Let it be easy.
Let it be easy.
Right.
And don't let the problem sink you away from the solution.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. You'll never be in a place where there is only the pureness of positive emotion or the pureness of positive energy, because within everything that you want, there is an automatic and natural counterbalance that is the lack of what you want. And so your work is to define what it is that you want, and then to, in a very deliberate way, hold your thoughts in the direction of your desires. And the emotional guidance that comes forth from your inner being that you feel in terms of negative or positive emotion will assist you in knowing which side of the equation you are on. Are you thinking of what you want or the lack of it? A young father called and said, "Abraham, my son is wetting the bed, and he's too big for that. I've tried everything I know, and I'm at my wit's end. I don't know what to do." And we said, "When you come into the bedroom in the morning, what happens?" And he said, "I come in, and right away I know what's happened again. I could tell by the odor in the room." And we said, "And how do you feel at that point?" And he said, "I feel disappointed, and then angry, and then frustrated because it keeps going on, and I don't know what to do about it." We said, "Aha, you are perpetuating the bedwetting." He asked, "What should I do?" And we said, "What do you say to your little boy?" And he said, "I tell him to get out of those wet clothes and get into the bathtub. I tell him he's too big for this. We've talked about it before." And we said, "When you enter the room and feel the negative emotion as you realize that what you do not want has occurred again, stop and ask yourself what it is you do want and get your thoughts focused upon that before you go further into the experience of your little one. And you will then see improvement in what happens."
Mm-hmm.
So we asked this father what this experience had helped him recognize about what he wanted. He said, "I want my little one to wake up happy and dry and proud of himself and not embarrassed." We said, "Good. As you are thinking those sorts of thoughts, then what is oozing out of you will be harmony with what you want, not out of harmony. And you will be more positively, powerfully influencing your little one also. And then words will come out of you such as, 'Oh, this is a part of growing up. All of us have been through this, and you are growing up very fast. Now get out of those wet clothes and into the bathtub.'" This young father called very soon after that, within a few weeks, and said that the bedwetting had stopped. You see, it is really so simple. When you feel bad, you are in the process of attracting something that will not please you. And it is always because you are focused upon the lack of something you want. And so the process of pivoting is the conscious decision to identify what it is that you do want. We do want to imply that the feeling of negative emotion is a bad thing. We do not want to imply that the feeling of negative emotion is a bad thing, because very often in the feeling of negative emotion, you are alerted to the fact that you are in the process of negatively attracting. And so it is like a warning bell. It is part of your guidance system. I think that's really important to notice, is that the feeling of negative emotion or positive emotion, neither emotion is good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
they both are extremely important because they tell you where you're at vibrationally.
Right.
Am I in the direction of all the things that I want, or am I going in the direction of the things that I don't want?
Yeah.
Where am I vibrationally? That's what your emotions tell you.
Mm-hmm.
So negative emotions are just as good as positive emotions because they tell you where you're at.
Yeah.
It's like our GPS.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah,
without
exactly.
our emotions, it's like we're trying to drive to Provo, Utah without any directions.
Right. Not a fun deal.
I mean, it's very difficult to get to one specific place if you have no idea where you're going.
Yeah.
Your emotions tell you where you're going, where you're headed. Are you
Mm-hmm.
headed towards what you want or what you don't want?
Yeah.
And so neither of them is good or bad. They're both wonderful for that
Mm-hmm.
reason.
Yeah.
They're your internal GPS. We encourage you very strongly not to beat up on yourself when you recognize that you are feeling negative emotion. But as soon as you can, stop and say, "I'm feeling some negative emotion," which means that I'm in the process of attracting what I don't want. What is it that I do want? A very simple process of pivoting would be to say, I want to feel good. Anytime you are feeling bad, stop and say, what I want is to feel good. And if you will offer that, then thoughts will begin to come to you on the positive side of the equation. And as one thought attracts another, and attracts another, you will very soon be vibrating at the frequency that is in harmony with your greater knowing. And then you will really be rolling in terms of positive creation.
I like that.
That momentum. One positive thought meets another positive thought, meets another positive thought, meets another positive thought. And it's that snowball effect.
Right.
That momentum begins the moment you shift your vibration, the moment you shift your thoughts, the moment you shift how you feel. And so if you can hold on to that, another will meet it, another will meet it, another will meet it, another will meet it. And that momentum begins, and it gets easier to hold that vibration and to improve it.
Yeah. Yeah. So good.
So good. So if you can get through that initial feeling of discomfort.
And know that you don't be scared to feel those feelings, know that that's okay. That's what we want to do, because then we can tell for sure where we're at and go up the scale.
Feel it, but you don't have to stay there.
No.
Just know where you're at.
Yeah.
So then you can know where you want to be from where you're at and begin to move towards that.
Yeah. Yeah. Easy. If we let it be.
Right. We can let it be easy. I like that. And that's one thing that we want, right? So why don't we say it? Say, I'm going to let it be easy today.
Yeah.
That feels good to say.
It does.
I like it.
Yep. So thoughts connect to thoughts, which connect to thoughts, just like she said.
I imagine.
Yeah.
I didn't read that, but I should
have. Yeah. Our friend Jerry has offered us the most powerful analogy for the way your thoughts connect to one another. He described a large ship coming into the dock. It was to be tied with a rope that was very large, almost 1 foot in diameter, too big and bulky to throw across the expanse of water. And so instead, a small ball of twine was tossed across, which was spliced into that larger, bigger rope, which was sliced into the larger, bigger rope, which was sliced into the larger, bigger rope, until eventually the very large rope was easily pulled across the big expansion of water. And this is the way your thoughts dovetail into one another, with one connecting to another. On some subjects, because you have been pulling on the negative rope longer, it is very easy for you to get off on a negative tangent. It can take just a little utterance from somewhere, a memory or something, or some suggestion to take you into a negative tailspin, right away. And so sometimes it is difficult for you to let go of the negative rope, for you have been holding on to it for a very long time. But if you, whenever you are feeling negative emotion, you will realize that you are negatively attracting, and you will let your dominant intent be to feel good, then you can find yourself rather easily letting go of that rope. And so both the process of pivoting and the process of the book of positive aspects are offered to assist you in recognizing in the early subtle stages that you are pulling on the very tips of that negative ball of twine, so that you may right away release it and reach for the positive twine. As you are talking about the way thoughts connect to thoughts, as we are talking about the way thoughts connect to thoughts, we want to point out something that you may be missing. It's much easier to go from a little thought of something that makes you feel good to more that makes you feel good to more that makes you feel good than it is to be in a place where you are feeling bad and then go right to a place where you feel good. So good. And that's so true. If, like, when we talk about walking up the guidance scale, we can't go from the bottom to the top in one step. because that's not sustainable.
Right.
But if we go little step by little step by little step, then we're making that climb and we're leaving those negative feelings behind.
Right.
We're just going to a better place, but one step at a time.
Right. And then, like you said, that becomes much more sustainable.
Right.
Than trying to jump.
Yeah.
A lot of people try to jump and then they're like, well, that didn't work. Well,
right.
Yeah, because you tried to take a giant leap.
Yeah.
To where you're not feeling. You're already vibrating here. To go from here to here is very difficult. But in order to get there, when they say like eating an elephant one bite at a time.
Right.
That's really what you're doing. But it could take a minute.
Yeah.
Or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Or, days if you want.
Right.
But it doesn't have to take very long to do it.
Yeah. Let it take a few minutes. That's okay. We don't have to snap our fingers and be there.
Right. And it's good to let it take a few minutes because that way you can just move your way up and let go as you go, like you said.
Yeah.
And what's a few minutes in, the span of our lifetime?
Right. Yeah.
It's nothing. It's really nothing.
Yeah. Look at the big picture.
There you go. I like that. Big picture, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do not try to save the world. Save yourself. Because thoughts are so attractive, meaning that they attract more unto them, once you get going on a thought that does not feel good to you, it is easier for you to stay focused on that train of thought until you have a great amount of negative energy going than it is for you to pivot away. And for that reason, we want to encourage the greatest exercise in pivoting that we can offer you. In other words, rather than moving forward into your day, not having any clear ideas of what you want, and waiting until some influence touches you that you do not like, feeling the negative response and deciding that you will pivot, it is so much more productive for you to go about your day with the decision to look for positive aspects. Do not try to save the world. Save yourself. That means that you need to focus on what makes you feel good. The process of pivoting is the tool that will bring you to what you want. It is the process whereby you consciously decide, yes, I want to look for what I want, and I will no longer look in the direction of the lack of it. Pivoting is the continual, hour after hour, segment by segment process, whereby you choose the positive. It is the way you get to feeling good, and it is a way that you can get whatever you want. And that's the thing to think about. So a lot of people, we want to improve not only our own lives, but the world around us.
Yep.
Well, in order to get what you want, what you've asked for, and by saying that, you've already asked for it, right?
Yeah.
You need to get into the energy of the solution, which is the energy of positive thought, which is the energy of, I have it, it's wonderful, it's coming to me, I feel it's on its way right now.
Yeah.
You need to get into that vibration in order to create those things in your life and the world around you.
Yeah.
And by focusing on all the negative things that are happening around you of the current reality, it's keeping you away vibrationally from what it is that you do want. And that's why dreaming and thinking about what you do want is so important.
Right.
Because you want to be attracting that. You've already asked for solutions to the problems. Now you need to line up with the solution, be in harmony with the solution vibrationally.
Yep. Yeah.
That's the tricky part for people, because
it is
when you get in that momentum, like they talked about, of this negative thing, you see another negative thing, you see another negative thing, and another negative thing, and another thing that you don't have. It just builds that momentum. That's where it's hard to get out of it. Yeah. That's where pivoting really comes in.
Yeah. And, to get yourself into that better feeling right away, it doesn't have to do with any of that negative stuff. It can be just, I'm going to go have a good cup of coffee. Yeah. Or I'm going to have an ice cream cone, or whatever it is.
I'm going to listen to a song.
Yeah, listen to a song. Yep.
Watch a funny video.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything like that, just to get you out of that space right away. Yeah. And then you can start to climb up and up and up. Yeah. Yeah. And that's something that we forget a lot of times. It doesn't have to do, you don't have to be getting what you're lacking to get into a better place.
You don't have to feel positive about the lack.
Right.
But what you do need to do is to feel positive.
Yeah.
Because when you do that, when you're in that vibration,
Yeah.
you're in the vibration of receiving everything that you've asked for.
Yeah.
And so it's about not being like, why do I have to think positively about that thing? You don't have to think positively about that thing. But what you do need to do is to think positive thoughts
about something,
about
anything. Yeah.
Something, anything, all the things, doesn't matter.
Right.
But you need to be vibrationally in a better space.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're still in the problem and the lack. And that's not helpful to you. You want to continue that? No, of course you don't. You wouldn't be watching this video if you wanted to continue to have so many negative experiences. Not to say you won't ever have negative experiences, but you can either have a mountain or you can have a molehill. Yeah. Which do you want? Yeah. I know what my preference is.
Right. Me too. And, when you are mostly feeling good, no matter what you're doing, those things that drag you down aren't going to keep you there because you felt good for so much longer. You don't want to go there anymore. Right. And the bad things aren't going to feel as bad. There's always a solution. So you're going to be looking for that right away. Right. It's just a habit, really, of getting into feeling good.
Right. Your vibrational set point is higher.
Yeah.
Which means you also have more resiliency, like you're talking about. You don't stay there. You are able to bounce back every time and not get as low as you have in the past. Yeah. You just get better and better and better at it. Yeah. And that feels good.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah. I love that chapter.
I love it. For me, it never gets old. It's always a good reminder. And pivoting is super powerful if you use it. Right. It's something that I use in my life. If I start to feel myself going down that spiral of negativity, I always find a way. Okay, I recognize where I'm at and I find a way to get towards what I want from where I am at. Yeah. Because it happens to all of us. We all have things that happen to us that we don't prefer. Yeah. And that happens to me, multiple times a day, that things that I don't prefer. Yeah. But do I allow it to keep me in that negative space? No. Because that's not what I want.
No. I love it.
And you can always use that as, I learned a lot about what I don't want today. Yeah. And then I also learned a lot about what I do want today. Right. And both of those are very important things. Yeah. So they are. No day, no matter how good it feels or bad it feels, is a wasted day.
Yeah. And even in the moment of feeling that yuck, you can have something that's going to pull you up and make you laugh, or whatever. You can have those dual emotions going on at the same time sometimes, but focus on the good ones then.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. So good. All right, Carissa, where can we find you in this wonderful world?
This wonderful world. You can find me here at our office, SoulSpace in West Fargo, first of all. But if you're looking for me on the internet, you can find me on Facebook at Light of Hope Healing. And then you can find me on my Square site, which is light-of-hope-healing.square.site. Light of Hope Healing with a bunch of dashes in between .square.site, which is a great place. You can find us together on Facebook at Our SoulSpace. Yeah. And you can find us on YouTube at SoulSpace Podcast. Yes. Tracy, if people wanted to connect with you further, where could they find you?
You can find me at inspiredsignals.com. All my links are there. All my favorite links to my favorite things are there. You can also find me at Instagram and Facebook at Inspired Signals, or if you like artsy stuff, at Inspired Signals Studio. And do you have anything coming up?
Well, I know that we're going to do a pop-up shop here for Christmas. Yeah. Because we have so many amazing things for sale right now, and I would love to do just like a fire sale on that. So here in December, we're going to do that. We're going to send you guys the dates. We'll put it down in the comments when we get it set here. Yep. And then we'll also send out an invite to people. Yeah. Awesome. Say, come and buy some amazing things. Some things are handmade. Some things aren't. Some things are vintage. Some things are new. Some things are artsy. Some things are designer. Lots of beautiful things. Yeah. Yeah.
I have a Reiki class coming up on Monday, Reiki 1.
Ooh, yes.
I need RSVPs by Thursday on that this week. So December 8th is the class, because you probably don't know the date.
Right.
When we're talking.
Right.
And then I have an artistic alchemy class coming up December 17th. Both of them are at SoulSpace, and yeah, it's gonna be, the month is already flying by and it's only the 2nd.
I know.
It's crazy.
It's December 2025, guys. It's going by fast.
Yeah, going by fast. So we hope you enjoyed our podcast today, and come and see us again next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week, guys.
All right.
Bye.